Hey, it's OC Prod. I'm happy that you came here today, and I'm hoping I can provide the right kind of value for you. What? Okay, so what are we talking about today? Now, you got what happens next after Venezuela. So this is going to be a 4-part series, okay? We're going to be doing 4 parts to this. This one is about terrorism, okay? Now, I know that is a taboo subject to talk about, but it's something that we kind of have to speak about as citizens, because right now, let's just be honest, with what just happened in Venezuela, there is going to be an increase in terrorist activity in 2026. Okay, there is no doubt about that. All right. So as people that exist in the places, I think it's, something we should all be on the lookout for. We can't be looking at our phones in certain locations. So what do I mean by an increase in terrorist activity? Where is this terrorist activity going to take place? And what will that look like? Okay, those are the 3 things that we're going to be talking about in this video. So stay tuned for that. Honestly, I would want to know about, just in case somebody's going to, blow me the fuck up. Okay, so what kind of terrorist activity will we be looking at? Okay, after the attack on Venezuela and the kidnapping of their president Maduro. All right, I would say European countries, the UK specifically, the United Kingdom. I live in London myself, and it's kind of been scaring me a little bit, like taking the train, taking the bus, because if you don't know, there was a terrorist attack. A lot of Americans don't know this. There was a large-scale terrorist attack equivalent to our 9/11 in London, okay, in 2005. All right, it's called the 7/7. All right, that was when a coordinated attack of, I think, 4 trains and 2 buses were blown up. Okay, now this was not an isolated event. There's been multiple terrorist attacks that involve explosives in London. Okay, now again, I'm not saying this to scare people. I'm just saying that if we're looking at an attack in the United States, we're not looking at large scale explosives on traveling items. Not anymore. Okay, you're not going to see bombs on trains as much. We will see people shooting people up, but that can always be dismissed as, oh, this person has mental issues. You know what I'm saying? So you won't, even if it is a terrorist attack, it won't be seen as one, if that makes sense. You can't mistake someone blowing some shit up. Okay? So, right now, what I would say as citizens, right now going into this year, be on the lookout. If you're riding trains, public transit, make sure you look and see if there's anyone acting suspicious. If there are bags laying around that are just laying around, you should report that immediately. You should not take that as like, oh, this bag's just sitting here, who cares? You should be like, let me get that checked out, okay? Because worst case scenario, you make a person do their job. Best case scenario, you just saved your life and a bunch of other people's lives. It's a very real thing. It happens very consistently. Okay, and what just happened this year, it's going to happen. Okay, so these are the kind of attacks that we could be looking at in Europe and UK. I just mentioned firearm attacks in America. Okay, now if you didn't know, just a few weeks ago, a whole box full of New York Police Department uniforms were found on the street in New York. Okay. Now, that alone should scare anyone, because those were official uniforms, okay? And there were hundreds of them. It wasn't like no 5, 6 uniforms. If it was like 5 or 6, that's one thing. A whole box full of them, that right there is telling you that someone has the capabilities to not only manufacture and or order those in, but they have so many of them that they left them on the side of the road, okay? And if they can do it for New York, you know they can do it for any other state, right? And if it's that many uniforms, that means you have a strong, coordinated attack. And what do all police have? They're not going to dress up in a police outfit without a gun. Ta-da. Again, I'm not saying this to scare anyone. This isn't fear-mongering. This is the truth. Because we go through life so consistently not noticing these things, and then we end up as cannon fodder while the guy who pressed the button and made the whole thing happen is chilling in his house. You think he's riding the train that gets blown up? No, he got a jet. So I'm saying these things to make sure that we're aware of the facts that these things could happen. Okay? Now, looking forward past the attacks, what it's going to look like. Now we're going in. So in the future, we're looking at, I would say, more government coordinated attacks where we were seeing a lot of individuals, religious based attacks. We're going to be looking at a lot more government sponsored activity when it comes to terrorism. Okay. Because what happens when you go against a force that is obviously stronger than you? You start using context of guerrilla warfare. Okay. Guerrilla warfare is where you create so much damage that it becomes a problem to deal with them. All right. Now, obviously, a lot of other plays come into that, like how many people are you willing to sacrifice in your own, how many people I'm willing to throw at it for it to get the job done. For every one person I sacrifice, how many do I get back? It's a mathematics game. Okay. But overall, we're going to be seeing an increase, most definitely over the next 5 years. By 2031, I would say we're going to be seeing a large increase of terrorist activity. Okay. So please, 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 please be on the lookout. Please be safe. Okay. And when it comes to government sponsored activity, I'm not saying large scale governments. I would say more like Afghanistan, because let's be honest, the Taliban did take back their country. So now they have a country that's full with oil that China is purchasing. Russia is purchasing. They're purchasing their oil. They're purchasing their natural resources. America might not purchase them, but other countries are. So that means they now have a large sum of cash flow coming in, and they obviously have a group of warriors willing to die for the cause. Okay. And let's be honest, if I have a group of warriors willing to die for my cause, I'm going to pimp them out to any government that, that wants to use them. If you want to use 100 suicide bombers to go do your bidding, you don't want to use your own people. My people are willing to go for, the virgins. So I'm going to send them to you. You pay me 10 million. They go do the dirt. Ta-da. You get what I'm saying? Do you understand how these attacks are going to become, they're going to become more militaristic instead of them being religious and or personal attacks? They're going to become government sponsored and militaristic. Okay. They're not going to be done with planes. And just know that the individual attacks will be framed in the media as terrorist of religious sort, not of government sort. Because if you admit that, then you're admitting that these people are sending people over here to kill us and we're at war with them. Instead of there just being, oh, it's religious propaganda. When it's framed like that, it's like, oh, they just believe that. But when it's framed as, I'm China, I paid you $10 million for 100 suicide bombers, sent them all over Europe and America, and then go under a Chinese passport that passed clearing, and then they decided to, blow up some buses, trains, whatever else, shoot joints up. Because I'm gonna be honest, it's scary easy to get a gun in America. Okay, it's scary. I mean, there are websites. There are websites you can go on without showing any identification, and you can buy an AR-15 style rifle for under $1,000. Promise you. That's not me making some shit up. That's me as being an arms dealer. Look, I have sold guns, multiple weapons, all over America. It's very easy to get guns without a license. Super easy. I won't say I have, but have I seen people sell guns to people without showing their ID? Yes, I have. So you could have been selling to anybody. And bullets are easy. Bullets, you don't need a license to get bullets. You can just walk into any gun store and just buy bullets. So it's not, the barrier to entry for deadly weapons in America is extremely small. Okay. So again, all I'm saying is in this video of what happens next. And again, this is a 4-part series. We're going to be speaking about South America next. We're going to be speaking about what happens in China with Taiwan. We're going to be speaking about what happens with Russia and Ukraine. Okay. We have to speak about these things because with 2026 coming off at the start that it did, we have to assume that there are going to be large scale attacks of militaristic nature happening to civilian population because of the simple fact that we just did that ourselves. If the United States started it, who do you think's going to finish it? That's the point. Okay. So greatness awaits. Please, 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 please stay safe. And if you watch this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Look in your eyes. Use your eyes. Don't be looking at your phone. If you're in any public space, please just look around and make sure that there's no one acting suspicious. Okay? And if your gut's telling you to leave, follow your gut. Do not assume that you're safe because you've been safe 100 times. All right? Because it's the 101 time that you're not safe that something actually happens. Greatness awaits. Have a blessed, blessed day.